What a dreadful transfer window. FM is no longer being kind in 2022. In fact, it's been downright dreadful to me. Oh, let's go to the video. Hello and welcome back to Rodney Parade Newport. And if you're new to the channel, do all that subscribe stuff and comment and like and help the channel to grow. And the boys have just come back from their summer break after celebrating their Sky Bet League One championship victory last season and enjoying themselves, but I have not been. It's been a summer of despair. But first, let's have a quick look at what happened last season in the season review. In terms of the new arrivals, only two of the boys actually performed, although Dan Sweeney did get an average of 6.97, which isn't far from 7, and so he did fairly well. And Daniel Williams didn't perform as we'd wanted him to, and he's now gone back to Swansea totally disillusioned with life and Newport, and I can't say I blame him. But Josh Park and Timmy Abraham were the stars. Josh Pask, the signing of the season, had an absolutely brilliant season. Timmy Abraham also. Two very, very good signings that we made. In terms of transfers out, most of them went out on a end of contract, but Callum Ryan Phillips is doing very, very well after he was transferred out. Loans out, nobody performed very well at all for the clubs that they went to. Jermaine Hilton and Scott Bennett have now left at end of contract. And yes, what a fantastic season it was. And I think it was down to a good start again. And we finished up beating Blackpool to the championship by 8 points, which was a phenomenal season in terms of results. We looked like we could be going on back poor runs of form from time to time, but we managed to turn those around. And indeed, it was a great season. We got knocked out in the first round of the FA Cup by Stevenage on penalties, but we made it to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. After beating Crystal Palace in the third round, we lost to Tottenham Hotspur in the third round. We lost to Crystal Palace in the fourth round. In the Papa John's Trophy, we did exceptionally well, and we made it to the quarterfinals to be beaten by Wigan, who we incidentally play next. The biggest win of the season, we're not the greatest attacking team, but we did beat Burton at home by 5-0, and that was a stunning performance. I remember that, and I definitely remember the 4-0 victory over Shrewsbury. The goal of the season was a superb effort by Jamie Thomas, and this, I think, was one of our featured matches, and what a goal this was. And just out of nowhere, that was an amazing strike, and it was nice to see him find a little bit of form last year. And we have renewed his contract. In terms of the finances, sponsorship deals were down, but everything else was looking very, very good. And I don't know why the board were so stingy in terms of money, and they continue to be extremely stingy in terms of budgets. In terms of shirt sales, of course, Timmy Abraham was the top sales, with Lakin, Nuttall, Collins and Thomas making it into the top 5. The fans seem to like Jamie Thomas. And our team of the season, again, you can see that we were very solidly defensively, and only Timmy Abraham contributing up front. Joe Day, Josh Pask, Farquharson, Parker, Aaron Lewis all had great seasons, but in the middle of the field we weren't outstanding, and up front only Timmy Abraham was able to put anything together. Nice to see Lewis Collins, this young lad, forcing his way into the team of the season. That's really cool. And in terms of the accolades, well, of course we were going to get accolades. I'm guessing, we don't know at the moment, but I was manager of the year for Sky Bet League 2 last year. I'm guessing I'll be manager of the year for Sky Bet League 1. Having just won out of nowhere. Player of the season, Josh Pask, of course, and young player of the season, Timmy Abraham. Signing of the season, we already know about, and goal of the season. Timmy Abraham scoring 23 goals was absolutely fabulous. Aaron Lewis, 17 assists and 6 Player of the Match awards. And Josh Pask had the top average rating. Michael Parker keeps doing this. He's popping up, and he's a bit of an enigma, and I'm not really quite sure whether he belongs at the club, but he does play sometimes extremely well, but not consistent enough for my liking. Aaron Lewis had broke the record of the most assists in a season with 17. Joe Day had 27 clean sheets all season long. Phenomenal performance. Clark was the oldest player. He's now left, and Lakin, our biggest transfer amount to date, 195,000. And Ed Upson, who's now left the club, was the oldest goal scorer. And yeah, it was another phenomenal season, and we were supposed to get relegated, but we won the championship. And it's not a good thing, because we are in absolute trouble this season, and I think we should have a look at the transfer window. And there is nothing to see, really. You already knew we'd signed Will Boyle, but very few things have happened since then. We did have a couple of offers at the beginning of the season, but they were not good offers for Dolan and for Parker, and so I turned them down. And especially Dolan, because I didn't have a midfield at that time, only 3 in midfield. And that was accompanied by teams just refusing to allow players to come out on loan, or where they did, the player would actually insult us by saying we are not good enough. We tried to get loan after loan after loan, and we couldn't seem to find anyone anywhere that was willing to come and play for Newport. And who can blame them? Our squad is in an absolute desperate state now. But we did sign Will Boyle from Huddersfield for £140,000. He looks like a decent enough player, and he certainly was an improvement on what we already had. And I'm hoping to see some big performances from him this year. We're going to need it for sure. And we then followed that up by signing Demeko Duhaney. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And he is a definite improvement on Cameron Norman, who has left the club. But I don't think he is good enough to be a good Sky Bet Championship player. And then in the current window, since it opened, we brought in Yeboah Amankwa. We like these long names, strange names. And he has got huge potential and good determination and positioning skills. He also can pass the ball. And so we brought him in on a free. But he's one for the future, really. He's not, certainly not ready to be a first teamer. And Ryan East we brought in simply because we didn't have a midfield. And we couldn't attract anyone in on loan. They just kept insulting us. But he's a very good Sky Bet League 2 player, and maybe he just might step up to the mark. He was certainly an improvement on players like Upson, and he's better than Livermore. And so we're going to have to see if he can step up and make the grade. Personally, I think he's just a very good Sky Bet League 1 player, and we are going to be in big, big trouble. And so our first fixture will be against West Brom. If we look at what the media are saying, we are, again, right at the foot of the table, the same as last year. We're destined for relegation. And I believe them. I think that this is going to be a season of just really looking at morale management rather than anything else, and trying to keep spirits high. And it's going to be a very, very long, hard battle in the relegation area. And I really don't know whether we have the wherewithal, either myself or the team, to get us out of it. The board have not helped. They're very, very stingy and have no ambition at all. And so against West Brom, the team is, we're going to play Day in goal with Pask, Boyle and Sweeney at the back. Dehaney and Lewis are the wing backs, with Lakin and Dolan in midfield. A surprise appearance for Dolan. Thomas, Nuttall and Abraham, of course, will make up the front three. And we are playing West Brom. It's a difficult fixture. They are predicted to finish in the top six. And so what an awful start to have away at West Brom. And all I'm hoping for is we put up a good performance. And that's what we're saying. We've got nothing to lose, boys. Let's get out there and show people that we are here. And that we will play football. And we're not going to defend. We're going to stay on the front foot and see if we can't play with these big boys. And let's get going. And here's Boyle. That's his first touch. And Sweeney finds Boyle. Boyle to Pask. Pask to Day. And that was pretty good. But here comes Shrewsbury. And that's a lovely pass by Shrewsbury. But a good interception by Pask. Pask, who's been a great signing for us. And here is a ball by Laking over the top to Abraham. And Abraham's in the clear, and it's 1-0. Newport are ahead. I'll just try and contain myself because it's only 7 minutes gone. But what a start. As Thomas, he found Lakin, and Lakin just... typical goal from Newport, found Abraham in space in the channels, and he buried it past the goalkeeper. What a great start. West Bromwich Albion 0, Newport 1. And West Bromwich Albion get the game underway, and this is always a worrying start, that there's a highlight straight from the kickoff. And let's just hope that nothing comes of it. And Canos finds Williams out on the left. I really had no idea how to set this team up because there wasn't a lot of information in terms of how West Brom play. But here's Sterling and West Brom equalised. And that's like within a minute of us going ahead. West Brom are level. And joy turns to immediate despair. They are creating an overload on that side of the pitch. I may have to do something about that. And I think maybe that we might have to switch over which fullback is more attacking than the other. But it is good to see us at 5th in the championship at the moment. And it's still 1-1, and we are still in this game. And let's hope that we've caught West Brom cold. And here is Day. It's good. There's another highlight for us. He gives it to Pask. Pask to Boyle. And Boyle hoofs one up the field. That's not how we play. He has to get used to how we play, I think. And here's a chance for... Oh, this isn't part of the plan at all. After going ahead and so much happiness at going ahead and thinking, hey, maybe we can play at this level. And that's just really poor from Boyle. We play out from the back, and he didn't do that. And we were open at the back, and Surridge scored for West Brom. They are actually going through the middle, so I'm going to go and force them outside and stop them trying to get outside. And my assistant's telling me get Josh Park to mark. Sorry, like no way are we marking anyone. And I'll just tell you, yeah, we're underdogs, but just keep going. It's not going so bad at all. We might just sneak one. Who knows? We're huge underdogs here, and we are going to make some changes and see if we can affect the game at all. Now, we're not going to use tighter marking. We're not good at marking, and so it would be a silly thing to do. But here's Williams as West Bromwich Albion bring the ball forward. But this is good pressing by Newport, and we force them to take shots from outside the area. I don't mind that. Day has proved to be a good shot stopper, and if we can keep doing that, who knows what will happen. But West Brom have a corner, and that's cleared away. And here comes Abraham. Abraham, what can he do? He holds the ball up and finds Lakin. And that obviously wasn't going to amount to anything. We've had 10 shots, which pleases me, and we have a free kick, and Sweeney, he's hit the post. Sweeney has hit the post. What a chance that was. We could have gone level, and that would have been a dream start if we could have equalised. And that was so unfortunate. Our strength at set pieces is still there, but unfortunately we have been beaten. And it's West Bromwich Albion 2, Newport 1. But it was a good performance, and we can't be unhappy. They gave it all they had. We nearly got a draw out of it. It was a very, very good performance. And so we are at 15th, and we have some tough fixtures. They're all going to be really, really tough. We have Plymouth coming up in the Caribou Cup first round. Next, that's a tough game away at Plymouth, and then we have our home to Wigan, recently promoted Wigan, away at Sheffield United. We have Ipswich at home, and I'll probably looking for a game to come back to. Every one of these games is very, very difficult, but it's going to be a long, hard season. We're going to see a lot of red dots. And I'll probably come back for the local derby against Swansea. We have beaten Swansea in the past, and we are in September away at Swansea. And I think I'll play through until then and see where we're at that time. So I think, we'll come back in the Swansea game. And that's it for this video. If you liked the video, give us a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, do all that stuff and help the channel to grow. And I will see you for the Swansea game in episode 21.